Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going deep on something that I think could really help you guys out there. We're going to be looking at zipForm Plus. Specifically, we've got this workshop guide called Introducing zipForm Plus Workshop2025.pdf. And it was put together by these trainers, Leo Loera and Anthony Bried. They seem to know what they're talking about, and we're really excited to share what we've learned.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I mean, in real estate, time is money, right? The faster you can do things, the more deals you close.
Absolutely. And that's where I think this whole zipForm Plus thing
Yeah.
comes in. But first, I just got to say, I was so impressed by Leo and Anthony's experience. I mean, these guys are like veterans at OC Realtors. Leo's been there since 2007 and Anthony since 2002.
Wow, that's like over 40 years combined experience. They've worked in membership services, MLS training, technology tools, and they're both certified zipForm trainers. They've seen it all.
I know, right? It's like, you know, you're really learning from the pros here. So zipForm Plus, it's this digital platform from the California Association of REALTORS, C.A.R. for short, and it's designed to make those real estate transactions so much smoother, especially for all you agents out there.
Yeah, think of it like your one-stop shop. Creating transactions, managing all your documents, getting those signatures. It basically takes all that paperwork and brings it into the digital world.
Okay, that does sound pretty awesome. So the guide here, it mentions some pretty cool features like creating transactions, choosing the right C.A.R. forms, and even getting e-signatures.
And you can even make reusable templates, so you don't have to type the same info over and over again.
Oh, wow, hold on, there's more. It can connect directly to MLS data, like it pulls in property info automatically.
Yeah. The guide actually says it can save agents like 15 to 20 minutes per transaction.
Wow, that's huge. I mean, think about what you could do with an extra 20 minutes for each client.
Exactly. More time to prospect, network. Maybe just grab a coffee.
Okay, seriously, that's a game changer. Okay, so before we go too deep into all the bells and whistles, let's imagine you're a brand new agent, just starting out. How do you even sign up for this thing?
Okay, so you got to start the C.A.R. website. That's www.car.org. And you head over to the transactions section. That's where all the zipForm stuff is.
Okay, so then what?
You're going to need your M1 NRDS number. It's like your Realtor ID. It should be in your new member guide if you're just starting out.
Okay,
You use that to register for your zipForm online account.
got it.
And you'll need to create a username, a password, and a call-in code. Make sure you write all that down somewhere safe. You don't want to get locked out.
Man, I've been there. Okay, so you're in. What's the first thing you see?
You'll land on the home transactions screen. Think of it like your zipForm dashboard, your command center.
Okay, so from there you can create new transactions, manage the ones you're already working on, access documents, do pretty much everything you need to.
Yep, pretty much.
Okay, I'm already feeling more organized. So let's say you want to submit an offer on a property. What do you do?
You click that new button and choose the type of transaction. In this case, an offer. You'll also need to put in some basic info about the property, the address, listing price, that kind of stuff.
Ah, so that's where we put things like the APN number. For those who don't know, the APN is like a property's fingerprint. It's a unique ID that helps make sure everything's accurate.
Exactly. Super important for avoiding any mix-ups, actually. I was just reading ahead in the guide, and it looks like there's a feature that can pull this info automatically, but we'll save that juicy detail for later.
Ooh, cliffhanger. I like it. Okay, so we've got the basic property details. What's next?
Now comes the fun part, the documents. zipForm Plus has this amazing library of C.A.R. forms all ready to go.
So it's like having a virtual filing cabinet, but without all the paper cuts. And the guide mentions that they introduced a new form editor in 2024. Sounds like they're always updating things to make it even better.
Right. They're always listening to user feedback. This new editor is supposed to be much faster, which is great news for busy agents like you.
That's awesome. Okay, so we've got our forms, but we need to make sure everyone's included, right? Like the buyers, the sellers, the agents.
Absolutely. In zipForm Plus, those people are called parties. You got to add them to the transaction with their contact info and everything.
So it's like creating a digital guest list for your real estate transaction.
Yeah.
So the guide mentions all these different tabs and sections within zipForm Plus. Can we take a peek under the hood?
Absolutely. Let's start with the Forms tab. This is where you'll manage all the paperwork for the transaction. You can edit existing documents, add new ones, print, email, the works.
Okay, so that sounds pretty straightforward. What other goodies are hiding in these tabs?
Well, there's a Grab from Transaction section where you can temporarily store forms or documents you might need later.
Ah, so it's like a holding area for your paperwork.
Exactly.
Smart. What else?
There's a section for adding new forms, of course, but what's really cool is the suggested forms section. It actually analyzes your current contracts and suggests other forms you might need.
No way. It's like it's reading my mind.
Right.
What about uploading external documents? Like if I have a PDF or a Word doc that I need to include.
You can do that too. PDFs, Word docs, spreadsheets, anything you need. And you can easily email or print any of the documents right from zipForm Plus.
Okay, so that's great. But what if I need to delete something? Like if I accidentally upload the wrong file?
No worries. There's a delete button so you can remove any unwanted documents and keep things nice and tidy.
Phew, that's a relief. Okay, we've covered the Forms tab. What's next?
We've got listing info and offer info. These are for the general info about the transaction.
So that's where we'd put things like the property address, listing price, APN. All those details that should be the same on all the forms.
Exactly. It saves you from having to type it all in over and over again.
I love efficiency. Okay, what's next? This is like a treasure hunt.
All right, the next tab is called clauses.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it like your own personal library of frequently used terms or clauses.
Oh, that's handy. So instead of typing out the same long clause every time, I can just pull it from my clauses library.
Exactly.
What if I need to add some custom text to a PDF document? Can I do that in zipForm Plus?
You got it. The Tools tab lets you add text directly to any PDF you've uploaded.
Okay, so no need to use a separate program. That's super convenient. Anything else?
One last tab, Feedback. This is where you can send your suggestions or report any issues directly to Lone Wolf, the company behind zipForm Plus.
Oh, that's cool. So we can actually help shape the future of the platform.
Exactly.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm already pretty impressed with all this, but I'm really curious about this e-signature feature they keep mentioning. That seems like a total game changer.
It is. Let's talk about how zipForm Plus makes getting those signatures easier and faster than ever.
Okay, tell me everything. So no more chasing clients down for ink signatures.
Nope. It's all digital. You can even choose between AuthentiSign or DocuSign, whichever you prefer. No more printing, signing, scanning, faxing.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So let's say I have a document ready to send out for signature.
Yeah.
What's the first step?
You'd click the Prepare Signing button in the transaction.
Okay.
You create a signing name, just a label so you can find it later. Then choose a return folder where the signed documents will be sent back to you.
So like a digital inbox for signed documents.
Yep.
Okay, what's next?
You got to add the participants,
Yeah.
the people who need to sign. You can just select them from the transaction. No need to type in all their info again.
Oh, thank goodness. So once I've added everyone who needs to sign.
You should double check the signature areas before sending it out. Make sure everything's in the right spot. You can also add any extra fields you might need, like checkboxes or text fields.
So it's a final check before hitting send.
Exactly.
Make sure everything's perfect.
And then you hit send, and zipForm Plus handles the rest.
So it emails the documents. And I don't even have to remind anyone to sign.
Right. It sends out automatic notifications, and you can even set up reminders if you need to.
This is amazing. I'm already saving so much time just thinking about it. But what's it like for the client? What do they see?
They get an email with a link to access the document. Sometimes it ends up in their spam folder, so you might want to give them a heads up to check there just in case.
Oh, that's a good point. Okay, so they find the email.
To click the link, agree to the e-signature consent, review the documents, and then start signing. AuthentiSign actually takes them directly to the areas they need to sign, so they don't have to scroll through pages and pages of text.
Oh, that's nice. What about signing options? Can they use a mouse or a touchscreen or a stylus?
Yeah, all of that. AuthentiSign lets them choose how they want to sign based on their device. They can even pick a signature style they like and add their initials where needed.
So it's user-friendly, even for people who aren't tech-savvy. What happens when they're done signing?
They hit complete signing. They get a confirmation email with a copy of the signed documents, and the documents are automatically sent back to you in zipForm Plus.
Everyone wins. Okay, so we've covered creating transactions, adding documents, getting e-signatures. What other time-saving magic does zipForm Plus have up its sleeve?
Get ready for this one. We're about to enter the world of templates.
Templates. I'm all ears.
Imagine you're typing the same information over and over again. Your name, your brokerage details, all that stuff. It's going to be super tedious, right?
Tell me about it. There's got to be a better way.
There is. Templates. You can create templates in zipForm Plus for all that frequently used information, and it'll automatically fill in those fields for you.
Wait a minute. You're telling me I can create my own shortcuts?
Basically, how do I do that?
You go to the Templates section in zipForm Plus and click New to create a template.
Okay.
You'll choose the type of template, which determines what forms it can be used for. So you can have different templates for different types of transactions. So like I could have a template for offers, one for listings, One for leases.
Exactly. You give it a name. Choose the property type, like single-family homes or condos.
Got it.
Then the magic happens. You get to fill in all the information you want to be automatically populated.
So, like my name, brokerage info, contact details.
Yep. And you can even add common clauses or terms to save even more time. Just be careful about adding client-specific info to templates. You don't want to accidentally disclose confidential data.
Oh, that's a really good point. Okay, so I've created my template. How do I actually use it?
Super easy. When you create a new transaction or open an existing one, you can select a template, click Apply, and all that info is automatically filled in.
No way.
It's like having a personal assistant who does all the boring stuff for you.
I'm in love with templates already.
They're pretty awesome. The guide says using templates can save you 15 to 20 minutes per transaction.
Okay, seriously. That's more time for everything. More clients, more deals, more life.
Exactly.
Okay, we've got to talk about this MLS Connect thing. It sounds pretty mind-blowing.
It is. Remember all that property information we talked about? The address, APN, listing price. Well, with MLS Connect, you don't have to manually enter any of that.
Seriously. Tell me more.
It can import all that information directly from a property listing on your MLS right into zipForm Plus.
Wait, so I don't have to type all that stuff in anymore?
Nope.
This is incredible. How does it even work?
First, you click the MLS Connect icon in zipForm Plus. Then you choose the listing type, like residential. And then you enter the property's MLS listing ID number.
So I just tell it what I'm looking for and pulls the data from the MLS.
Yep. You click Find, and zipForm Plus does its magic.
So the address, APN, listing agent details, listing price. It's all just there waiting to be imported into my forms.
Yep. Just double check that everything's accurate, click Import, and boom, zipForm Plus fills in all the fields for you.
This is like having a super-powered assistant, and it can save me 15 to 20 minutes per transaction.
Yes. It's a total game changer for efficiency. Not only does it save time, but it also reduces the risk of making errors. No more typos. Plus, it makes the whole process so much smoother.
Okay. I'm officially obsessed with MLS Connect.
It's pretty amazing. It just shows how much technology is changing the real estate industry.
It really does. All right, so we've covered a lot in this first part of our deep dive into zipForm Plus. We've seen how it can help agents save time, reduce errors, and just make the whole process so much smoother.
Yeah, we've learned a lot.
I think it's time for a quick break. We'll be right back with more zipForm Plus goodness.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you've all had a chance to digest all that zipForm Plus goodness. I'm still kind of reeling from all that time-saving magic.
Me too. It's crazy how much technology can change things.
Right. And we were just about to dive into MLS Connect, pulling all that property data straight from the MLS. I can already see how much time that's going to save.
Yeah, and speaking of saving time, the guide actually had a little tip about entering that MLS listing ID number. Make sure you use all caps. Oh, good catch. Uppercase for the win. Okay, so before we get too lost in the MLS Connect world, maybe we should do a quick recap, just to make sure everyone's on the same page.
Yeah, good idea. Let's distill all this knowledge.
Okay, so for me, the biggest takeaway so far is just how efficient this platform is. It's like having a whole team of digital assistants working for you.
Totally. Creating transactions, customizing forms, getting those e-signatures, automating data entry. It frees you up to focus on what really matters, your clients.
Right. No more drowning in paperwork or spending hours typing in the same info over and over again. And speaking of time savers, we can't forget about templates and MLS Connect. Those features are gold.
Absolutely. Templates store all that info you use all the time, and then MLS Connect pulls in the property data from the MLS.
It's like they took all the annoying parts of real estate and said, nope, we're going to make this easy.
And then there's the e-signatures. No more chasing people down to sign things.
Right. Everything's digital, secure, efficient, and good for the environment.
And you manage the whole thing right in zipForm Plus.
It's a pretty comprehensive platform.
What I'm really impressed with is how detailed everything is. The guide explains every little step and even points out things you might not think about.
Like using all caps for that MLS listing ID number.
Exactly.
Those little tips are so helpful, especially if you're just getting started with zipForm Plus.
And the fact that they're always updating it based on what users say, that shows they really care.
I'm sold. But I do have a question. We've talked a lot about how zipForm Plus can help us work smarter and faster. But what about the bigger picture? How do you think this kind of technology is changing the real estate industry as a whole?
That's a great question. I think technology is making real estate more accessible. With tools like zipForm Plus, agents can work from anywhere.
Right. They're not tied to an office anymore.
Exactly. And it's also empowering consumers. with e-signatures and online documents. Clients are more involved, they have more information, everything's more transparent.
So it's not just about helping agents, it's about creating a better experience for clients too. I think we're on the verge of a real estate revolution. But for now, let's focus on using the tools we have to create a better experience for everyone.
I agree.
Well, I think we've covered everything from our zipForm Plus workshop guide. This has been an incredible deep dive.
I've definitely learned a lot.
Me too. But even though we're at the end of our source material, I feel like there's always more to learn when it comes to technology.
Oh, absolutely. It's always changing.
So for someone who's now a zipForm Plus enthusiast, what are some ways they can stay ahead of the curve?
Well, I'd say take advantage of all the resources that C.A.R. and Lone Wolf offer. They've got tutorials, webinars, support articles, all sorts of stuff to help you learn more.
Oh, that's a good idea. It's like having your own personal zipForm Plus help desk.
And don't be afraid to connect with other agents who are using it. You can learn a lot from each other.
Ooh, I like that. It's like a zipForm Plus mastermind group. Okay, but one last question. We spent all this time talking about efficiency and all that. But what about the human side of real estate? How is technology impacting that?
That's an interesting question. I think it's important to remember that real estate is a people business.
Right. It's all about relationships and helping people through a really big decision.
Exactly. Technology can help us build those relationships, but it should never replace them.
I think it's about finding the right balance.
Using technology to make things easier, but still making those personal connections.
Well said. So, to everyone listening, embrace technology, but never forget the human element of real estate.
I couldn't agree more.
All right, so that wraps up our deep dive into zipForm Plus. It's been a wild ride.
It has.
Until next time.
Happy deal making.
Happy deal making. Man, we've really gone deep on zipForm Plus in these last two parts. I'm telling you, I am impressed.
It's a lot, isn't it? Creating transactions, managing documents, templates, MLS Connect. I mean, we've covered a lot.
We have.
Yeah.
And even though we've reached the end of this workshop guide, I feel like there's still so much more we could learn.
Yeah. Technology is always changing.
That's true. So for our listeners out there who are now like zipForm Plus experts, what advice would you give them to stay ahead of the curve? How can they really master this thing?
Well, first of all, take advantage of all those resources that C.A.R. and Lone Wolf offer. They've got a ton of stuff, tutorials, webinars, support articles, you name it.
That's a good point. It's like having a direct line to the people who made it.
And they're always updating things based on feedback.
Right. So it's always getting better.
Exactly. And I'd also say connect with other agents who are using zipForm Plus.
Oh, yeah. Like a little support group.
Yeah. You can share tips, ask questions, learn from each other's experiences.
It's like a zipForm Plus mastermind group.
Right.
We've talked a lot about efficiency and all the cool tech stuff. But at the end of the day, real estate is still about people.
You got it.
We're helping people make one of the biggest decisions of their lives.
And technology can help us do that. But it should never replace the human connection.
It's about finding that balance.
Using the tools to make things easier, but still remembering that personal touch.
So well said. To all our listeners out there, embrace the technology, but never lose sight of the human side of real estate.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
I think that's a perfect place to wrap up our deep dive into zipForm Plus.
I think so too.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. We hope you learned a lot. And until next time,
Happy deal making.
happy deal making.